One of the most comical performances in the post-Sir Alex era has left Solskjaer looking down the barrel. With that in mind, I have decided to analyse the two front-runners for the job in the event Ollie gets the boot. They are Mauricio Pochettino and Max Allegri. Alongside this, whenever there is a change of manager, it will mean the reinvigoration of some players and the end for the others. The Devil's Verdict will reveal the players that could struggle under the respective regimes, and out of the two managers, who should be the next United manager. First, looking at Max Allegri. When it comes to Allegri's philosophy, it can be summed up in a quote he made at the end of 2019. He said, "Tactics are bullshit, football is art, and the artists are the world-class players." He is a great man manager that trusts his players to think for themselves and express themselves as they see fit. This is a philosophy both Sir Matt and Sir Alex brought to United by giving flair players the freedom they need to produce their brilliance. Allegri is not a manager that gives out scripts to his players. Tactically, Allegri is very flexible, utilising 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 4-1-3-2, 4-3-1-2 and 3-5-2 over the course of his time at Juve. However, his go-to formation was 4-2-3-1. In this formation, you have the double pivot in midfield to protect the back four in the event of a counter-attack. But in Allegri's team, these are not just blockers and destroyers. They played a huge role in the offensive side of Juve's game. Allegri's double pivot are highly technical midfield players with the passing skill and technical ability to get the balls to the star players in the areas of the pitch they need it to win games for Juve. The fullbacks also played a key role in the offensive side of Allegri's game plan. Allegri always had forward-thinking fullbacks that get forward and provide the offensive width and quality balls into the box, with Juve's front line consisting of inverted wingers. Defensively, Allegri doesn't believe in the high press, as he feels it opens spaces for teams to counter-attack in. Instead, Allegri's Juve side, during the defensive phase, retreated back into their own half into a 4-4-2 defensive formation to create those three defensive lines and squeeze the space between the lines. 4-4-2 is the most basic formation and is the easiest to implement, but it is highly effective. It is difficult to play through the lines, and on the transition, the team are set up to counter-attack. With Allegri's tactical approach in mind, who could bite the dust under his regime? The players that spring to mind are Fred and McTominay. They are excellent defensive players, but they lack the passing ability from the middle third that Allegri demands from his double pivot to get the ball to the star players. This could count against both players, and Allegri's first signing could be a regista. Outside of the tactics, Allegri has shown the ability to rebuild a squad while still getting results and winning trophies. This is a team that started the 2015 Champions League final, and this is a team that started the 2017 Champions League final. There are only two survivors from the 2015 final. To have such a huge turnaround of players in such a short space of time and still retain domestic dominance and compete at the top end of European competition is a huge achievement. This is one of the traits that made Sir Alex the greatest sports manager in the history of sport. Now on to Pochettino. His philosophy has been described as risk with knowledge, positive attacking football in a controlled way, but hard work personifies Pochettino's mantra and is the foundation of his philosophy. Without the desire, hunger and fitness to win the ball back, you are below his standards. Pochettino also plays with a 4-2-3-1 formation, and that has been the case pretty much for the whole of his managerial career. Like Allegri, Pochettino played with a double pivot in midfield, but unlike Allegri, they are two blockers and destroyers. Throughout Pochettino's tenure at Tottenham, his double pivot really impacted the game offensively. They didn't create, score, or make forward runs. They were there to protect the back four on the transition and facilitate one of Tottenham's potent attacking tactics. Tottenham's fullbacks under Pochettino played as virtual wingers and were a constant outlet for Tottenham. There were numerous occasions under Pochettino when his fullbacks had 100 plus touches of the ball in a single game, indicating their role in Pochettino's attacking philosophy. Not only were Pochettino's fullbacks an attacking threat with the ball, but without the ball, their very presence in the attacking third would ensure that the defensive line of the opposition was stretched across the pitch, creating space infield for Tottenham's narrow front line. If we look at United's front four of Rashford, Martial, Greenwood and Fernandes is the only contrast, with the other three being very similar, and overall, if they don't have space to counter-attacking, they are very predictable. If we compare that to Pochettino's Tottenham front four, he had the classic number 9 in King, the midfield runs of Ali, the creative skills of Eriksen, and the wing play of Son. They covered all the bases, which created an attacking fluency to be able to deal with all types of defensive situations. They could open tight defences up, or counter-attack when it afforded the space, all resulting in a dangerous free-scoring front line. Defensively, pressure and persistence in winning the ball back is a prerequisite under Pochettino, and no one is excused. Under Pochettino, not all players need to know how to attack, they all need to know how to defend. Pochettino's Tottenham did employ a high press on teams, but beyond this, every outfield player pressed the ball when it came into their sphere of influence. Under Pochettino, winning the ball back is a positional duty for 90 minutes plus added time. Any slacking off and you're out of the team. The players under pressure, if Pochettino takes over, are Shaw and Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka lacks the quality on the ball to affect the game in the attacking third, and although Shaw is a solid defender, he lacks the explosive attacking play of Danny Rose at his peak. They will both need to improve significantly to provide the attacking full-back play that Pochettino will demand. Away from the tactics, Pochettino has a proven record in developing young talent and improving established players. He didn't always have the best hand at Tottenham, but he could play deuces like aces. The Devil's verdict is, Allegri is by far the better manager and has a track record that blows Pochettino out of the water. However, United lack the infrastructure that he was accustomed to at Juve and may find working with Woodward difficult. Pochettino, on the other hand, I would describe as a coach, opposed to a manager, and has experience of working with a difficult CEO in Levy. You can give him a difficult hand and he will play it to the best of his ability. On balance, despite Allegri being the superior manager, I think Pochettino is better suited to what United are today. He will have more money to spend than what he had at Spurs and will probably have more say on which players come in. Let me know in the comments who you think United's next manager should be if Ole gets the sack. And as always, please like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you in the next video.